of like post-lunch lull. And one of my favorite growth hacks is actually an energy hack. And it's a game called Crazy Eights. Anybody know this? We're going to do it together.
I do.
So stand up, put your laptops on the ground or on the seat next to you. It's a very simple game. It's going to make your afternoon, I promise.
You guys are going to love this.
So you start by shaking your hand 8 times, then next hand 8 times, then foot 8 times, other foot 8 times, and then we go down to 7, then we go down to 6, and then we go down to 1. Ready?
Can you yell? Can you count and yell?
Oh yeah, that's right. Nice. So we're gonna count on 2. Ready? Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1. Oh, are we on 5? 1, 2, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1. All right. Now we can talk Pinterest. All right. So I just want to get some info from the room. If you use Pinterest on a monthly basis, raise your hand. Oh, yeah. There's not very many people. And if you've advertised on Pinterest currently or in the past, raise your hand. Great. So I'm going to talk about 2 things in the next 20 minutes, and it's really great that there's not very many people who advertise on Pinterest or know Pinterest, because what I'm going to focus on is why we should all be paying attention to it. And then I'm going to talk about how to grow using Pinterest, and I'm going to use examples from the company that I was at, Babylist, which 3x'd in size solely as a result of Pinterest. So how did I get up here? For the last 3 years, I've been in charge of marketing at growth at Babylist. And that's when Babylist started in 2011 with the birth of the founder's son. Babylist was in 500 Startups' 5th batch, and that's demo day. This is our growth graph, by the way. So this is number of registries created per month. Babylist is an online baby registry that lets you add any item from any store onto one wish list. So and this is number of new registries created per month. So that was demo day. That's when I joined the team. And then that peak right at the end is January of 2015. Januaries are still Babylist's most popular month. We can talk, if anybody's curious in the Q&A, I can answer why January is the biggest month in the baby world. And we were really excited January of last year, because we had this big spike. We had more than 10,000 people sign up for registries that month, and we were excited to be at a new level in 2015. We got into Pinterest's promoted pin program. It was in beta in February of 2015. We were really excited. We thought we'd grow, and it would be a great, really fit in well with our user base, but we didn't expect this to happen. We didn't expect this kind of growth to happen this quickly and to happen this much. So I believe regardless of your industry and regardless of your growth graph, we should all be paying attention to Pinterest, and I have 3 reasons. The first, and I'm going to repeat this because it's really important. Pinterest is not a social platform. Pinterest is a search engine. Pinterest is not a social platform. Pinterest is a search engine. A lot of times it's easy to compare Pinterest to Facebook when really we should be comparing Pinterest to Google. Pinterest is a search engine for ideas, and in a lot of cases, Pinterest actually does better in search than Google does. And there's certain categories where it really shines. Last year, I became a homeowner, and I noticed the number of times that I was opening Pinterest for a search compared to Google skyrocketed. And it was because I didn't know exactly what I was looking for. You go to Google for objective searches and Pinterest for subjective searches when I don't know exactly what I'm looking for and when I'm trying to refine my tastes. So anything that has to do with life stage planning, anything that's visual, anything where I'm trying to decide who I am and what I like is where why you go to Pinterest. This is just an example of me typing in patio ideas on Pinterest. and then typing in patio ideas in Google, and you can see what Pinterest has to offer here. I also want to point out, one of those pins is an ad. It's a super native platform, which is a lot of fun to play with as a marketer. Oh, another fun fact. Do I have any Stranger Things fans in the audience? Maybe more Stranger Things fans than Pinterest users. The Stranger Things team actually utilized Pinterest while they were brainstorming, during production, and afterwards as their inspiration board. And yeah, so Pinterest to thanks for, we have Pinterest to thank for Stranger Things. Okay, so the third reason why we should all be paying attention to Pinterest is a lot of people use Pinterest, and the people that use Pinterest are very likely to take out their credit cards and buy something. 1 in 3 dads uses Pinterest. 1 in 2 women in the United States use Pinterest. And Pinterest is the 4th largest traffic driver in the United States. First is organic search. Second is direct search. Third is Facebook. And 4th is Pinterest. Pinterest beats Reddit. Pinterest beats Twitter, and everybody else. The other thing to say, okay, so a lot of people use Pinterest. It also, the people that use Pinterest also spend money, and their intent to buy on Pinterest is higher than any other platform. Shopify found that on average, a user that came from Pinterest spent $80 on their order. That's half of what somebody coming from Facebook or Google spent. So Shopify, somebody buying on Shopify that came from Facebook or Google spent $40. On Pinterest, that number was $80. Third reason why we all need to be paying attention to Pinterest is something that Pinterest calls downstream conversions and downstream clicks. You could also call it earned impressions and earned clicks. And there's no other platform like this. On Pinterest, people actually save your ad to their profile to come back to later. So what I found, and what if folks advertise on Pinterest, what they find is that their click-through rate goes down with time, and so does your cost per conversion. So what does this look like? For Babylist promoted pins are saved to 10,000 different boards over the course of a month. So these are likely people who aren't pregnant yet or are expecting a baby next year and want to save the information to come back to later. So what that means is that if Babylist ceased to exist tomorrow, or if our marketing spend disappeared, we'd still get tens of thousands of users coming to the site to create registries based on our previous ad spend. Another example, a company that I'm working for now is called Knit Health, and I put an ad up for them they have the smartest baby monitor in the world. And the first ad I put up got a sale on the first day. I had to pause it on its first day because I needed to make some changes to the site. And as it was paused on the second day, 6 more sales came in from that ad. So what's important to note here is you pay for the first click, but you don't pay for any clicks after that. So essentially, those sales that I got on the second day came from engagement that people had done on the first day, and then they took action the second day. Okay, so before I talk about how to grow on Pinterest, I do want to talk about how Pinterest ads work. I'm going to start with how Google ads work. Most folks should know, but it's always important to reiterate the importance of quality score and how Google actually determines their ad results. So every time somebody does a search, Google holds a bid. And Google takes 2 big things into account. First is what you're willing to pay to show up on the first page of results. And the second thing they take into account is how relevant you are to the search. So what that means is it's not just the person who spends the most doesn't always win the top spot. It's a combination of spending the most and also being most relevant to that search. And Google usually only holds 1 bid because only less than 5% of people ever go to the second page of results. So Google's deciding those top 3 ad spots, and then bid's over, it's determined, you're on your merry way on Google looking for the information that you're looking for. On Pinterest, a bid is held every time a user takes their thumb and moves it up the screen to be looking at new content. And why this is a game changer is because for people like Babylist, we couldn't compete with a Target or a Babies R Us when it came to spend on Google ads. We could compete with them on Pinterest, especially if somebody had searched for a term and were really digging into that content. It wouldn't matter if we showed up 5th or 6th or 7th because they were digging into that content and they'd find us. All right, how to grow on Pinterest. So the first thing to do is put yourself in the mindset of a pinner, and I have a bit of a hack for this. So when I'm thinking of an ad or content that I think would be well spread through Pinterest, what I do is I insert the two words. One is the word ideas, and the other is the word how-to. We're just talking about SoFi. Here's a promoted pin I saw that I really liked. The title of this on this pin is not Network Like a Pro, it's How to Network Like a Pro. This screenshot here is a search buying first home. And you can see that the two pins on the left-hand side, it says how to buy your home in your 20s, and the other one is buying a home for beginners, 22 terms you need to know. So you can see there that it's how-to and ideas, and there's information behind those pins. That's an ad from Casper, and I like the image, and it hints at buy Casper. It'll be really easy to move in with the Casper mattress, but what it's missing is any content that makes me want to click. Any how-to or ads or ideas content. So my recommendation to them would be, if they were ever listening, is if they're listening now, is to add a title to this pin to get somebody to click, and I think the click-through rate would go through the roof. So something like how to move in easily, how to move your mattress easily, or 5 genius ideas to move in easy. Does that make sense? So think in ideas and think in how-tos. The other thing I want to note is that you don't just have to grow on Pinterest by paying to grow on Pinterest. So last year, Babyless decided to do a big content initiative where we wrote dozens of articles about the best baby products of 2015. That content I actually decided based on keywords that I was seeing do well in Pinterest and Google. So we wrote all this content, and we made one rule. Every article that we published had to have a beautiful pin that went along with it. We spread that content to the people who had registries. We pushed our pins on Pinterest, and they did really well, really quickly, and naturally, and organically. And then what I decided to do to give it a little bit of boost is I just decided to spend $2,000 boosting these ads to get a little bit bigger audience. And then we really had some traction. Just with $2,000 to spend, it was maybe a month or two that I ran these ads, stopped it. We were winning searches for baby products on all of Pinterest, and then 6 months later, we rank in Google for the same best baby product searches. So there's a way to kind of hack your site and your content to be really Pinterest optimized, and also using promoted pins to kind of boost the content that you have and product you have. Okay, so how do you make a nice pin? The first thing you want to do is be tall and stay tall. This is simply a real estate game. So Pinterest, the way Pinterest is made up, the longer you get your eyeball stays with content, the longer it is, and that's the easy one. Second thing to do, and this slightly varies on industry, but for the most part, you want to give folks options. So if I see the sunglasses in my Pinterest feed, I only have one of two options to like what I see. I can either like pair of sunglass number 1 or the second pair. This ad, on the other hand, there's dozens of products that I might find appealing and I might click. So for the most part, the more products you can fit in, the better. Gap, for example, finds that multiple colors of t-shirts do better for them than a t-shirt. Make sense? Okay, so the third way to make a beautiful pin is to blend in. And what's amazing about Pinterest is how native it is. As you saw from one of my screenshots, it's hard to tell where ads are and where non-ads are. And so this is a gift. This is a huge gift Pinterest has given us. And what I like to make sure is to take advantage of that gift and look as much like a natural pin as possible and not like an ad. So these are the two on the left. I actually like them as pins. They're not great they're less good as ads. So the one all the way on the left is from a company called The Real Real. And it's a great multi-product pin, but the copy reads like an ad. It says all the designer brands you love. So it was clear to me when I went back in and looked at that I wasn't going to click through. There's no content there for me behind this pin. It's an ad for The Real Real, and so I dismiss it and don't click on it. This is Lyft's ad in the middle, which I think is really creative. Their idea is that drive for Lyft and you can fund to do all these things and all these things that you want to buy on Pinterest. So creatively, really good idea. When I saw it in my feed, I immediately knew it was an ad because no other pin looks like this on my feed, right? This one on the right-hand side, wait, you're left, I'm doing that right, I actually clicked and read the content. It goes to a mom blog, and it's about whether these shoes called Teeks are worth the price. So it lands on a blog, but Teeks made the ad and promoted it, and it's made to look like a blogger in the Midwest did make the pin. So it blends right in. I think it's a genius way to spend your marketing dollars, and it's obviously working for them. They do it for a few different blogs. Last thing you want to do when it comes to making a good pin is get out your damn phone. 80% of Pinterest users are on their phones, and I see so many great pins that land on subpar landing pages. So this is a promoted pin that I clicked on. I was interested in what Joybird was. It looks like a custom furniture option, but I clicked, and this is the landing page I got. I went straight to the home page, and half of the screen is taken up from a sale, so I bounce. This is a landing page I made, and for the company I'm contracting with now, Knit Health, I'm doing a campaign to get qualified leads, people who have trouble sleeping with their children, and I built this page up for mobile. There's only 3 questions. I've matched the photo, and this is an example where my conversion rates are tremendous, and I'm getting emails for very, very cheap. Okay. So I've taught you what I know about creating a beautiful pin. I want to get your thoughts between these 2 pins to see which one you think did better. So take a look. These are 2 babyless pins. One of them did better than another. Think about which one you think do better, and then hold up the number, 1 or 2 in the air. I thought 1 was going to do better. No, I thought 2 was going to do better, yeah. Got the how-to. So 1 killed it. One more. Again, these are babyless pens. Think 1 did better or 2 did better? I thought 2 was going to do better with my multi-products. 1 killed it again. I thought the baby in 1 looks a little alienish. It's a little scary. So why does this happen? I just told you how to create a beautiful pin, and then one of them had the word how-to, the other one was multi-product, and now data is telling us differently. So the most important lesson to get here is no matter what the tips and tricks are, no matter how much you optimize your pins or your site or what common knowledge is, the most important thing, and this has been a theme of the day, is to be nimble. Pinterest is too new of a platform for there to be any set rules, and even if there were, it's really important that you're going back every week to check on your pins and see how they're doing and be testing new things. I have 3 minutes left. So I'll end with this, and then I do have some more. If people have specific questions on Pinterest, I do have some slides about kind of specific tactics I've used. One thing I'll say is there's no reason you shouldn't go try Pinterest today. You do not need a following on Pinterest to do well with promoted pins. The pins that I've been serving for Knit Health has 0 pins. All the pins are ads. It doesn't affect, for the most part, how your promoted pins do and having an active profile. Again, this isn't a social platform. This is a way for you to reach people who are searching for content like yours. And what I'm going to do is go through these, and if people ask, I'll go back to them. If you want to talk Pinterest strategy, I'm more than available. I love talking about this stuff. I set up a Google form where you can enter in your information, and we can set up a time to talk. It's bit.ly/morebrit. And that's it. We'll go to questions. If any has 75 votes, I will answer. How do you recommend companies that don't have physical goods use Pinterest? So you saw the SoFi pen. Babyless doesn't have a physical product. I think, like I said, thinking about the content that you have or the ads that you'd run, and then adding the words ideas and how to help me put myself in a mindset. It's not just about getting somebody to buy from Pinterest, although that's really awesome and a lot of folks do that. You can also get them in your funnel. So leads lists, like qualified leads lists, like you saw that pen I said, if you have a problem with sleep, sign up for our email list, we'll send you sleep tips. It's a great way to get qualified leads. What else? Yeah, I think about your entire funnel and then the content, the visual content and the content that goes along with it. I think, yeah, most of the Pinterest ads that I've done haven't been for physical good companies.
It seems like Pinterest is best for tangible products, can also work for a service or digital content-oriented companies.
Yes and yes. So I've been seeing more and more ads for financial services on Pinterest. People are searching for things like, how do I lower my credit card debt on Pinterest? And there's a lot of companies who are really shining. One ad that keeps on coming up in my Pinterest feed is something called Next Advisor. It seems to be like a financial services blog. Their Pinterest ads continually show up in the top of my feed, which means they're spending a lot of money, which hopefully means they're making a lot of money. So the lens is via content, and content when it comes to how-to and ideas and building your leads lists. Pinterest, you can also, let me talk about targeting quickly. So you can target searches on Pinterest. You can also target interests on Pinterest now. So it's just like Facebook. You can target people who are interested in cars, people who are interested in all those things. You have all the interest targeting. And then the other thing you can do is lookalike models and retargeting. So you could get people to a post and then retarget them on Pinterest as well. There's not much. Pinterest can do all the things Facebook and Google can, to be honest. Yeah, it's just about creatively thinking about how to fit in with the content that's there.
How can technology companies focused on B2B achieve success on Pinterest, or is it directly correlated to age and gender? That's a great question. So let me answer the B2B part of that question first. Pinterest does work better when B2C companies, I believe. I do think there could be, I think people have hacked, in the same way folks have been able to hack B2B advertising on Pinterest, on Facebook. I think the same is true with Pinterest once their tools and once their targeting gets better. So it is possible, but it is a much better platform when it comes to B2C. And then the other part of that question, I can't remember because it disappeared. Gender. So 1 in 2 women use Pinterest. I might have been too excited to say that. 1 in 2 women in this country use Pinterest. That's huge. 1 in 3 dads. But it is, at least in this country, more of a female app. Abroad, they're seeing it's more of a 50-50 split. So it might just been that the early adopters in the United States were women. But yeah, women make up 50% of the market. So even if your company doesn't target directly women are spending 85% of, I think it's 85% of household income, so it's still a great place to find them. How can Pinterest help drive downloads to mobile apps?
They have an install button now, and they tell me it's working well. I haven't done an ad specifically to a mobile app before. Mobile Strike is advertising on Pinterest. Mint is advertising on Pinterest. And the install button is right in line there. That's the call to action. So I imagine well.
That one got good. Pinterest is a search engine, but it doesn't give us access to search data like Google does. So right. What tips do you have for creating a keyword strategy on Pinterest?
That's such a good question. So I've had to hack together. Pinterest, when it comes to tools, way behind the game. So what I do is use Google for my research and then apply it to Pinterest. So I kind of use it as a heuristic. So if a lot of people are searching for, what I found was best baby products of 2015. I saw was a really popular search term in Google. So then I took that search term and I put it into Pinterest to see what would happen. And I saw the popularity of the pins that were there. Pinterest also gives you suggested keywords, right, when you make a search. And that's your way, or a little hack of figuring out like keywords and other keywords that you could bid for. So use Google Keyword Planner, and then make the searches yourselves and see what Pinterest recommends. If you get a Pinterest account manager and spend enough money, Pinterest will give you a list of keywords that they see do well. So,
let's see. do you have any more tips for optimizing e-commerce landing pages for Pinterest users? Let's see. Mobile first. I find that anytime, and you probably all know this, but a pop-up that serves on mobile is jarring and takes away the content that you are looking at. So I'd really take a look at your landing pages on mobile and figure out how you're getting leads, and maybe your first Pinterest ad send to a simple landing page that asks for email above the folds. What else have I seen well with landing pages? In general, content that's really engaging on Pinterest that works well. And like the sales funnel we were talking about earlier, this is your opportunity to engage people with content and then ask them to marry you. And Pinterest is a perfect platform for that, those first dates, if you will. How do you convert on an inspirational browsing site? Should that be the primary KPI for Pinterest? So a lot of people buy from Pinterest right off the bat. And so how you track, Pinterest just updated their pixel, so you can track leads and pages visited and number of products bought. You can track all those things. And so I guess my question back would be, what's the conversion that you want to convert for, and try it out and see if you can get folks on Pinterest. I think that a lot of folks will look at Pinterest as like a set it and forget it. So you put out your first ad and then nobody converts, and so Pinterest as a whole platform is not going to work for you. But that's not how we interact with Facebook or Google Ads. We know that it's a platform that does well, and so it's about iterating. And I encourage everybody here to have the same outlook when it comes to Pinterest also. A couple more questions? We're going through so many questions. Do you have any more tips for optimizing? Okay, we did that already. Optimizing e-commerce landing pages for Pinterest users. I don't have any good tips for optimizing e-commerce landing pages for Pinterest users. I would probably take a page from what Shopify has done if they're seeing so much success with Pinterest. And the other one I'd watch is Etsy. Apparently 25% of all, I don't know if this is true anymore, this is true a couple years ago, 25% of all pins on Pinterest were actually Etsy items. So Etsy's figured out something too. So I would look at both of where those landing pages, e-commerce landing pages land, and copy. How do you convert on, we did that already. We talked about B2B, downloads to mobile apps I talked about. Isn't Pinterest the biggest demographic millennial women? What is Pinterest strategy to get more males onto the platform? I wish I worked for Pinterest. I don't. I don't actually wish I worked for Pinterest. I like playing with Pinterest, not working for them. So I don't know their growth marketing strategies at Pinterest. I know global growth is big for them, and what they're finding, it's interesting, in the US, so Pinterest is a bit of a social platform in the US. You'll have friends and kind of see what they're pinning. And what they're finding is in other countries, they want to be more private. So they want to save their ideas and not have friends on there looking at what they're pinning. They're growing tremendously abroad. I spent some time in Argentina and Brazil this summer. And of the women, I met a handful of women. And when we talked about what I did for a living and what I liked, they all piped up and said Pinterest was one of their favorite apps, and that's how they decided what they were going to wear and what they were going to cook and how they were going to design their house. So I don't know specifically about how Pinterest strategy for growth and growth with males or growth abroad, but it's here to stay, and it's important to pay attention to. That's it. Thank you very much.